Captain Torres, this is Dr. Hoffman from Pacific Fertility Center. I'm calling to congratulate you on your successful implantation. All 3 embryos took. You're having triplets. I sat up so fast I hit my head on the bunk above me. What implantation? I'm deployed in Afghanistan. Silence, then carefully. The implantation was performed 2 weeks ago. You came in with your husband. My husband died 14 months ago. His death is why I deployed. The silence stretched longer. Ma'am, I have records here showing Elena Torres underwent embryo transfer on October 15th. My name is Captain Maria Torres. Elena is my sister, but the embryos were from my IVF cycle. Those are my embryos from before my husband died. The only genetic material I have left from him. I could hear papers shuffling, panic creeping into his voice. The authorization signatures, the ID presented. This shows Elena Torres as the patient. My sister stole my identity and implanted my embryos while I'm serving in Afghanistan. We need to investigate immediately. If this is true, this is unprecedented. I hung up and immediately called Elena. It was evening in San Diego and she answered with a cheerful, "Maria, how's the desert? Are you pregnant with my embryos?" The pause told me everything, then she went on defensively, "You weren't using them." My knees gave out. I sat on my footlocker staring at the concrete wall where I'd taped the last photo of James and me together. Taken 2 days before the car accident that killed him. Those embryos are all I have left of James. And now they'll live instead of sitting frozen while you play soldier. Play soldier. I'm serving our country. You're running from grief. Mom agrees. You chose deployment over motherhood. I chose to serve after my husband died. Those embryos were for when I came home, when I was ready. You're 37, Maria. When would you be ready? After another deployment? Another. That wasn't your choice to make. Someone had to make it. Those babies deserved a chance. Those are my babies with my dead husband. And I'm giving them life. I'm married, stable, ready for children. You're single, deployed, broken. You're pregnant with my husband's children. He actually laughed. Technically, they're mine now. Possession is 9/10 of the law. I hung up and immediately called my mother. "Oh, honey," she said before I could speak. "Elena told me the wonderful news. Triplets. You knew." Of course I knew. I drove her to the appointments. You helped her steal my embryos. Steal is harsh. We relocated them to a viable womb. My womb is viable. You're in Afghanistan, Maria. You chose war over family. I chose service after trauma. Those embryos were my future. And now they're Elena's present. She's been trying for 5 years. This is a blessing. This is theft. Those embryos contain James's DNA and they'll be loved. Elena and Robert will be wonderful parents. To my children, you made your choice when you deployed instead of starting a family. James had been dead for 3 months when I deployed. I wasn't ready. Elena is ready. That's what matters. I hung up and did the only thing I could from 7,000 miles away. I called JAG. They had no idea what I would do next. Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Brennan, my JAG attorney, was stunned. She impersonated you to steal embryos created with your deceased husband's genetic material while you're deployed in a combat zone. I've never seen anything like this. This is identity theft, fraud, theft of genetic material. And since you're active duty military in a combat zone, this could be prosecuted under federal law. Can we stop the pregnancy? She paused. Legally, we can prosecute the crimes. But the pregnancy, that's complicated. She's carrying them. No court will order termination. So, my sister gets to have my babies. We can fight for custody based on the theft. But Captain, these are uncharted waters. I had 4 months left on my deployment. Months of leading convoys through hostile territory while my sister grew my babies in her womb. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My commanding officer, Colonel Hayes, noticed immediately. "Torres, what's going on? You look like hell." I told him everything. This hardened combat veteran who'd seen everything in his 20-year career, actually had to sit down. "Your sister stole your embryos while you're in theater?" "Yes, sir." "The embryos from your Kia husband?" "Yes, sir." "And your family supported this?" "They think I chose the military over motherhood." He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "You know what? Expletive them. Take emergency leave. Go handle this. That's an order. Sir, my unit will survive 2 weeks without me. Your family needs to learn what it means to betray someone serving their country. 36 hours later, I was on American soil in uniform, walking into Pacific Fertility Center with my JAG attorney and 2 federal marshals. The clinic director went pale when we explained the situation. We require photo ID, signatures, medical history. Check your security footage from October 15th. Compare it to Captain Torres's actual ID, Sarah said. They pulled the footage. There was Elena brazenly using my driver's license. She'd stolen it from my apartment. She'd worn similar clothes to mine, styled her hair like mine, even mimicked my mannerisms. This is criminal impersonation, one marshal said. And since it involves theft of genetic material from active duty military, it's federal. While they gathered evidence, I drove to Elena's house. She answered the door with her hand on her small baby bump. My baby's visible now. Maria, you're home. Look. She lifted her shirt. They're growing so well. Those are my children. They're in my body. Stolen embryos in your body. Robert, her husband, appeared behind her. Maria, be reasonable. We're giving them. I chose to serve my country after my husband's death. My sister chose to steal my genetic material while I was in a combat zone. The military community exploded in rage. Veterans, active duty military spouses, they all understood the betrayal. Someone serving overseas, trusting family to protect their interests, only to be robbed of something irreplaceable. #stolen service started trending. Stories poured out about family members taking advantage of deployed service members, stealing money, property, even identity. But embryos? That was a new level of violation. The legal battle was complex. Elena argued possession, that the babies were hers now. I argued theft, that stolen property doesn't become yours just because you're hiding it in your uterus. The judge's preliminary ruling was groundbreaking. While the court cannot, and will not, order the termination of the pregnancy, the genetic material was obtained through fraud and identity theft. The embryos and the resulting children legally belong to Captain Torres. Elena screamed in court, I'm carrying them. I'm suffering morning sickness. I'm giving birth to children that aren't yours. The judge responded, you stole genetic material that you chose to implant. That doesn't make it yours. But the pregnancy continued. I returned to Afghanistan to finish my deployment. Knowing Elena was growing bigger with my children every day, she posted weekly bump photos on Instagram with captions like, my miracles and so blessed to be their mother. I had my unit's IT specialist help me create my own account, Actual Mother. I posted Elena's arrest records, the court documents, and the fertility clinic footage showing her fraud. My caption read, the woman claiming to be mother to her triplets is actually pregnant with embryos she stole from me while I was deployed to Afghanistan. Those babies contain my DNA and my deceased husband's DNA. She's an incubator for stolen goods. The battle lines were drawn. Elena's supporters, mostly people who didn't understand the full story, lined up against the military community and anyone who believed in bodily autonomy. Then at 28 weeks, Elena went into premature labor. I was on a convoy when the Red Cross notification came through. Emergency leave was approved again. I made it to the hospital just as Elena was being wheeled in for an emergency C-section. She saw me and screamed, you can't take them. I'm their mother. You're their aunt, their criminal aunt. The babies were born at 11:47 p.m., 11:49 p.m. and 11:52 p.m., 2 boys and a girl. Tiny but fighters just like their father had been. Elena had named them. I immediately named them myself, giving them the names James and I had chosen years ago. Matthew James, Michael David and Sophia Marie. Elena tried to breastfeed. The hospital, aware of the court order, wouldn't let her. Those are legally Captain Torres's children, the head nurse told her. You have no parental rights. I gave birth to them. After stealing the embryos, that doesn't make you their mother. The following weeks were hell. The triplets were in NICU. Elena refused to leave the hospital, filing emergency injunctions claiming maternal bonds. Her lawyer argued surrogate rights. My lawyer shut it down. Surrogates consent beforehand. Elena Torres stole genetic material and implanted it without consent. She's not a surrogate, she's a thief. The final ruling came when the triplets were 2 months old and ready to leave NICU. Full custody was awarded to me. Elena had no rights, not even visitation. You can't do this, she sobbed. I carried them. I gave birth. You stole them, I said simply. You stole the last pieces of my husband while I was serving our country, I added. You get nothing. My mother tried one last guilt trip. Those babies bonded with Elena in the womb. You're traumatizing them. Elena traumatized them by stealing them, I shot back. They'll grow up knowing their aunt loved them so much she committed federal crimes to have them. That's not love, that's theft. The triplets are now 18 months old. They have James's eyes, his smile, his stubborn streak. They'll grow up knowing their father died a hero, pulling someone from a burning car when another vehicle hit him. They'll know their mother served her country, helped build schools, saved lives. And yes, they'll know their aunt went to prison for stealing them, that their grandparents supported it, that family betrayed family in the worst way possible. Elena gets out in 3 years. She writes letters about forgiveness, about letting her see her babies. I keep those letters as evidence in case she tries again. My mother hasn't met them. He never will. She chose Elena's crime over my service. My father, who was deployed himself when this happened, divorced her when he found out. He said, I served for 20 years. To find out my family would do this to another service member, my own daughter, I can't forgive that. Last week, someone asked me if I regret deploying, if I should have stayed home and had the babies myself. I looked at my triplets, alive, healthy, loved, and replied, I served my country. My sister served time. We both made choices. Mine brought honor. Hers brought shame. My children will know the difference. They had no idea what I would do next. Now the whole world knows. You don't steal from deployed service members. You don't steal embryos. You don't steal someone's last chance at their deceased spouse's legacy. Elena wanted to be a mother so badly she committed federal crimes. Instead, she became a cautionary tale about what happens when you confuse wanting something with deserving it. The triplets call me Mama. They'll never call her anything at all.